was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Justin Bieber is back in the spotlight again, but this time it is not because of a performance, a tour, or a comeback moment. It is because his name keeps getting pulled back into one of the darkest conversations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs. And that alone is enough to make people pay attention. Because the more Justin reappears in public, the more people start revisiting old clips, old interviews, and old moments that once looked harmless, but now feel very different. Some even believe Diddy has had reason to worry for a long time that Justin Bieber might one day speak more openly about what he saw, what he experienced, or what he understood much later. That is why this story keeps growing. Not because everything is proven, but because too many old moments now seem to fit into a much bigger picture. And one reason people keep taking that idea seriously is because Diddy has been seen acting tense around Justin before, including moments that viewers now interpret as him checking Justin for wires. Voiceover too. There is one interview in particular that people keep going back to now. And in hindsight, it sounds very different from how it sounded the first time around. At the time, it felt like Justin Bieber opening up about fame, pressure, and growing up too fast. But now, with Diddy's name under this much scrutiny, those same words hit even harder. Because when Justin looks back on being 15, he does not describe a smooth rise to stardom. He describes innocence, trust, vulnerability, and the consequences of being too open in the wrong environment.
So, all right, let's get deep for a second. 21-year-old Justin is giving 15-year-old Justin advice on what to expect from the industry and what to expect of life, going through what you've gone through. What do you say to that dude now?
I would just say, just listen to the people who care about you, and also I was you can't really teach innocent, because I was innocent and I was young and I trusted everybody. And with being young and innocent in this industry, it's not necessarily the best thing because people would take advantage of vulnerability. And so I think I was just in a place of just trusting everyone and, thinking everyone was on my side and eventually getting burned. And yeah, it's just tough, man. And after a while, I started putting up walls and boundaries, and for a while, I kind of shut everybody out. And then I kind of lost my own personality and lost my charismaticness because I just didn't trust anyone. And then finally, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let them win. I'm going to give them some of me and learn how to put up a wall without closing myself.
You turn 16. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you rock this every time. Right? Yeah, this going to be yours. So, it's a little dusty, but go get the front shot.
Man.
And then minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. When you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
Signed to Usher.
That answer is exactly why people keep tying Justin Bieber back to this story. He says he was young. He says he was innocent. He says he trusted everybody. And then he says he got burned. Those are not small words. That is the language of someone who learned too late that being open in the entertainment industry can come with a real cost. And once you hear him say that, one old moment becomes impossible to ignore. His 48 hours with Diddy. That clip has been around for years, but the way people hear it now is completely different. Maybe at the time some viewers brushed it off as celebrity joking, industry bonding, or harmless hype. But when Justin Bieber later talks about being young, trusting the wrong people, and getting burned, that old footage stops feeling light. It starts feeling uncomfortable. And that is where the real shift happens. The story is no longer just about whether Diddy and Justin were seen together. It becomes about the kind of space Justin was in, what he may have normalized at the time, and what it means when a teenager is surrounded by much older and much more powerful people. That is also why earlier debates over Justin's relationship with Diddy never fully went away. Some people insisted it was just image. Some said people were reading too much into it. Others believed it pointed to something much deeper. And while there is still no settled public proof of every allegation that now gets attached to those clips, Justin's own reflection still describes the kind of environment where things can go wrong very quickly.
So we like spent Christmases together, and I know I can trust him, and yeah.
Those conversations got to be tough. Like, you got this group of people, and you want to assume that they're your best friends, and then at some point you got to say, that's a tough conversation for anybody. Now, if you're having it at 19 or 20 or 21, that's tough.
It's one of the toughest things, especially when you really love someone. And I'm not the type of person who likes confrontation at all. Like, I hate it, especially with my friends. So I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want them to think that I don't love them, But there's sometimes you just need space, and it's like, I still love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance because I don't know if we're right for each other right now. Not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's probably comforting for teenagers to hear this because we've all been there. Like, we've all had those friends that we couldn't say no to, and peer pressure, and this is probably how we gotten ourselves into situations that we have.
Yeah. I think I have a cool opportunity to just be a light and tell people, I'm human. I'm still gonna make mistakes. You might see me on TMZ tomorrow doing something else dumb, but I think that what's cool about this growth is people can see it, and it's like I've made a transition that's and been consistent, and I think that life is just about staying consistent and keeping pushing forward and knowing that, hey, this day might suck, but let me just look forward to tomorrow or the better days to come in the future.
I know you're pretty spiritual, so and I know you must have thought about this before, like, Did God put you on this earth to do music, or did God put you on this earth to connect with people going through struggles that can learn from you? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get you. I think that my platform gives me the opportunity to do that. My love and my passion is people, and that's where my music comes, is because I'm able to give them something special, whether they're going through whatever they're going through. I think the connection comes through my music and helping them through my music. I don't know if necessarily I'm meant to be a public speaker or someone who's, I think what my platform is come to my show, feel the energy from my music, know that my music is positive and light and beautiful, and hopefully they can take something from that, because I think that when it's almost like a religion in itself. When you're coming to a concert, you're leaving all your troubles behind. You're going to just be completely enveloped.
That is another part of Justin Bieber's own story that people keep revisiting, because he is not just talking about celebrity drama there. He is talking about pressure, disappointment, distance, and learning how to protect himself without completely closing off. That sounds less like a superstar complaining about fame, and more like someone explaining how hard it was to trust people after being let down. And that is exactly why the atmosphere around him matters so much in this conversation. Not just one person, not just one rumor, the environment itself. Then the conversation gets darker, because once people started revisiting Justin Bieber's old clips, others began saying they could not watch them the same way anymore. That is when the public discussion shifted from celebrity gossip to something much more unsettling, whether some of Justin's most uncomfortable moments were happening right in front of everyone while adults laughed, pushed boundaries, and treated it as entertainment.
My real brother, but he's my dad dated his mom for 15 years, so we spent Christmases together, and I know I can trust him, and yeah. Those
conversations got to be tough. Like, you got this group of people, and you want to assume that they're your best friends, and then at some point you got to say, that's a tough conversation for anybody. Now, if you're having it at 19 or 20 or 21, that's tough.
It's one of the toughest things, especially when you really love someone. And I'm not the type of person who likes confrontation at all. Like, I hate it, especially with my friends. So I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want them to think that I don't love them, but there's sometimes you just need space, and it's like, I still love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance, because I don't know if we're right for each other right now. Not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's probably comforting for teenagers to hear this, because we've all been there. Like, we've all had those friends that we couldn't say no to, and peer pressure, and this is probably how we gotten ourselves into situations that we have.
Yeah. I think I have a cool opportunity to just be a light and tell people, I'm human. I'm still gonna make mistakes. You might see me on TMZ tomorrow doing something else dumb, but I think that what's cool about this growth is people can see it, and it's like I've made a transition that's and been consistent, and I think that life is just about staying consistent and keeping pushing forward and knowing that, hey, this day might suck, but let me just look forward to tomorrow or the better days to come in the future.
I know you're pretty spiritual, so and I know you must have thought about this before, like, Did God put you on this earth to do music, or did God put you on this earth to connect with people going through struggles that can learn from you? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get you. I think that my platform gives me the opportunity to do that. My love and my passion is people. And that's where my music comes, is because I'm able to give them something special, whether they're going through whatever they're going through. I think the connection comes through my music and helping them through my music. I don't know.
That section is what makes the larger point so hard to ignore. Sometimes people assume the most troubling things only happen in private, but a lot of Justin Bieber's discomfort was visible in public. He looked uneasy. He said he was uncomfortable. He tried to redirect, and still many people kept going. That is why those clips feel even worse in hindsight. Not because they prove every accusation being made now, but because they show how easy it was for a young artist's boundaries to be ignored in plain sight.
Amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. What music are you listening to at the moment, Justin?
Well, I listen to a lot of different stuff. I'm really into Jessie J, actually.
Ah, well, she's here. We're going to get to see her later. Thank you so much. Look at him. Look at what a beautiful face. All right, now it's time to find out who's nominated for International Breakthrough. Vote, just do it. Don't mess around.
And that is what makes this story broader than just Diddy. Once people began looking back, they did not just see one questionable relationship. They saw a pattern of Justin Bieber being treated inappropriately by older celebrities, often while cameras were rolling and nobody seemed especially concerned about how young he was. That does not make every person in those clips part of the same allegation, but it does strengthen the bigger point. Justin grew up in a culture where his vulnerability was often treated as something people could play with. Then the discussion narrows again and moves back toward the names that keep coming up most often in the public conversation around Justin Bieber's early career: Diddy and Usher. This is also where the allegations become more serious, and where the difference between rumor, commentary, and proven fact matters most. But even without resolving that entire question, the reason people keep circling back is obvious. Justin's own words, the old footage, and the public discussion all keep pointing to the same early environment.
You mentioned minors, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making a lot of allegations.
Same way they made allegations about Usher when Usher was younger.
I mean, do you think that there's any credibility to these allegations?
When there's smoke, there's fire. Why would Diddy be tapping his kid in his chest to see if he...
That is exactly the kind of statement that keeps the story alive. Not because it settles anything, but because it pushes the audience toward a conclusion. Once people hear, when there's smoke, there's fire, they stop treating the subject like a loose rumor and start looking at the full record around Justin Bieber, Diddy, and Usher as something that may fit together. That is a big reason the narrative has moved as far as it has.
Yeah, Justin, he's been real quiet about this. I mean, I think like a lot of the other celebrities.
I was reading some, Cam, and the kids say after he went to Diddy camp, he started using drugs so heavy and was smashed every day. What would cause a kid who wanted to be an artist in the music business all of a sudden to start getting high and drinking and drugging, popping pills and smoking? What would cause a kid to do that?
I mean, usually trauma.
Or a Diddy party.
That is where the story shifts from rumor to impact, because now people are no longer just asking what might have happened. They are asking what happened to Justin Bieber afterward. Why the behavior changed. Why the struggles became so public. Why the bright, highly driven young star turned into someone visibly overwhelmed. And for many people watching this, the answer keeps coming back to the same word, trauma. Voice over 13. That also ties back to what Justin Bieber himself already admitted. He spoke about trusting the wrong people, feeling used, and learning too late that vulnerability in the wrong setting can become dangerous. Whether every allegation is ever proven or not, his own words still give the story emotional weight because they describe exactly the kind of damage people are now trying to understand.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also.
Got me a Lamborghini. And
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
Sean Diddy Combs is pushing to have his prison term cut short. The rap mogul's lawyers took his case to a federal appeals court in New York on Thursday. They say his sentence for a sex-related conviction was too harsh. Jerika Duncan is here with more from those arguments. Jerika, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. A lot to consider here. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers argue a judge wrongfully sentenced their client by considering more serious charges than what he was actually convicted of. They also say it is the most prison time ever given someone convicted of the same charges with a similar criminal history. Now, one of the prosecutors in this case insists that Combs' 4-year, 2-month prison term is below federal sentencing guidelines and in line with similar convictions. Last summer, as many of you remember, a jury cleared Combs of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges. The rapper was convicted of lesser prostitution-related offenses. He had pleaded not guilty to all charges and denied wrongdoing. He's scheduled for release in April of 2028. Nate, this should be interesting. It could take a couple of months before there's a decision. One of the judges in that appeals court saying that this was an exceptionally difficult case.
All right, Jerika, thank you.
That clip is another reason the questions keep coming back. It is full of the kind of details people do not forget. Access, gifts, closeness, little brother language, and the suggestion that there were things Justin knew better than to say publicly. None of that by itself is a legal conclusion, but put together with everything else, it helps explain why Justin Bieber's name still sits so close to the center of this story. Then, the transcript makes one more turn. This time toward fear about the future. Because if Diddy's legal situation changes, the concern for many people is not just what happened before. It is what happens next. What happens to the people whose names are already caught up in this narrative? What happens to the alleged victims? And what happens if someone like Justin Bieber ever decides to speak more openly than he has so far?
We doubt that'll happen, but if that was the case, if he was to get out next month in April, what does the entertainment landscape look like, Diddy coming home in 30 days?
Same as it look now, bleak. Just not Memphis.
Just not Memphis.
Oh!
God damn.
You too.
Does Diddy have any redemption if he owns up to his depravities?
Prince said it best. Sometimes it snows in April. Oh, sometimes I feel so bad, so bad, so bad. Sometimes I wish that life was never ending. Whoa, all good things they say never last.
That update changes the emotional weight of the story immediately. Because once the public hears that Diddy could be seeking a shorter path back, all of the older questions around Justin Bieber, the old footage, and the allegations attached to those years stop feeling distant. They start feeling relevant again in the present. And that is exactly why the conversation keeps resurfacing. That section makes the biggest point in the whole transcript. The argument is no longer just about one celebrity or one prison sentence. It is about a larger system that people believe stays the same even when one person falls. That is why the idea of redemption here feels so weak to many viewers. Because in their eyes, the deeper problem was never just Diddy. It was the world around him that let too much go on for too long.
You want to know the one thing that I'm finding also very interesting that nobody's paying attention to? The presence of that pyramid. You know, that the same thing that the Rock Nation likes to put up, the same hand symbol that the sororities and the fraternities like to use. I'm not going to emulate it because you know exactly what it looks like. Yep. The pyramid sign that Diddy was wearing that around his neck. You wanna know what I found funny? That there were a bunch of YouTubers that were at that courthouse that were wearing that same, it was a much smaller version, but that same symbol.
That is where the story stops being about celebrity headlines and becomes a story about narrative control. Who frames the scandal? Who shapes the reaction? Who softens the public image? Who decides which names become symbols and which names become warnings? In this version of the story, Justin Bieber matters so much because he is one of the few names that can cut through all of that and make the public stop and reconsider how these narratives are being formed and repeated.
Diddy's not some nerdy dude who just happened to find some IG model and, oh my God, this is the girl of my dreams. Man, he has access to women all around the planet.
And that's his reputation.
But he went after the baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out. Just slutted her out. Having a whole basketball team run a train on her. And
I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll Be Sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter.
Kim Porter.
Right.
That's his reputation.
I'll Be Sure's baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serum, his friend, the one that had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend.
He got
a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, well, if you don't understand this, then you're just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no-no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, oh yeah, I used to date Vlad, I can't fuck with you, baby.
Right.
I won't even put my dick in it, excuse my language. Because that's how I move. Other people don't move like that, but you see me in Paris, you see me all over the world. Why would the fuck I want to do that to mess up a relationship? Because here's the thing people need.
That part adds another theme to Diddy's public image in this script: repetition. The argument being made is that there is a longer pattern of crossing lines, ignoring boundaries, and treating other people's relationships like territory to test. And once that kind of reputation gets attached to the larger conversation, it makes the concerns around Justin Bieber feel less isolated and more connected to a broader way of operating. This is where the transcript itself steps back and admits the key issue. Much of this is still unverified discussion, and that matters because it means the story is sitting in a gray zone where rumor, interpretation, first-hand commentary, and public suspicion all mix together. But even in that gray zone, the fact that Justin Bieber's name keeps resurfacing tells you how much the public believes there may still be more to know.
He's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black that are black actors or black in the business that's an A-lister that's bigger than Diddy, that's black? That's hard to think. But then if you got the A-listers, you know, you got to realize he ran with that black, that Rat Pack. And I don't want to even say their names, because they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kushner? What's the other guy? Leonardo? Yeah, his name. Man, I don't keep up with these cats. But I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there, other people too with him. And him doing some things with some other people. So it's quite a few tapes that might be out there, what they're hearing. And I don't want to see the tapes, but I want to know if they're really true. Because if they got some tapes out there and it's with some underage, whether it's celebrities or not, it's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be real crazy. And they're gonna have to bring that to forefront because the prosecutor's gonna want those tapes. And they're gonna do whatever they have to do legally to get those tapes. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. So we just better hope for his sake, that's just a bunch of bull crap. But then there's lawyers out there saying, yeah, the tape does exist. Lawyers got on television to say the tapes exist. I don't really know or trust that, because they was trying to say he had a tape with one of the bodyguards and this lady that came out. So we don't know what to think until we actually see that and we get that version. You remember we had that bootleg version of R. Kelly tape?
Yeah, I remember that.
They don't even bootleg. Yo, they don't even bootleg no more, man. So it's gonna be hard to figure it out if it does exist.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right, not at all. And somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy, you understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy and he was an A-lister, he was younger, you know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too. Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro.
Right. But when you heard the news that Diddy, he had a tape with another man, did that catch you by surprise or no?
Well, all this shit is by surprise to me. A lot of this shit is by surprise to me, to be totally honest, man. Because I knew Puff, I knew Puff Daddy, I knew Diddy before he was Love and Brother Love and back to Diddy. So, no, but the diddler, he's the diddler now. a lot of it's surprising, but it's not unheard of. Because you hear of all kinds of and whether it registered with you or you internalize it or something like that, that's a whole nother story.
And that is where this version of the story ends, not on a proven reveal and not on a final answer. It ends on the same question that keeps the entire narrative alive. What kind of environment was Justin Bieber really in? And what else might still come out if the people closest to that world ever decide to speak more clearly? That is why the story keeps resurfacing. It is not only about Diddy. It is not only about old clips. It is not only about rumor. It is about why Justin Bieber's name keeps returning to the center of a conversation that still feels unfinished.